All right, well, welcome to the R&R Show. Sit back and relax and enjoy the best little sports show ever. I'm your host, Michael Roope, and to the left of me is my co-host, William Rumsey. Hello, William.
Hooday.
All right, well, William and I are back in the studio for one of our favorite times of the year, the NFL Draft.
Back in the lab.
I know.
It's been a while.
It has been a while, but nothing.
Are we excited?
We're very excited. I think
Okay.
Bengal Nation's excited. As you always say in our previous years doing this show, the NFL Draft brings out hope.
It does. You stole my line.
Oh,
I know. We start. What was it? 4 years ago now,
Yeah.
when we picked Joey B number 1.
Yep.
And we've had a lot of hope, a lot of ups and downs.
And
Since
then after that was the very tug of war of the Panay Sewell and the
Yes.
Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
We were on the other side of the ledger, but I think it still worked out well. But I don't think it'd have been bad either way.
No. I mean, Jamar Chase was an all right pick. He led us to a Super Bowl along with Joey B. So, well, let's dive right in. Number 18 overall.
Yep.
What are we looking at here?
Well, it's funny, as I look at this draft and some of the pundits out there. I think they're maybe in line with what we think, except for a few. Now, the $1 million question is: does Brock Bowers slide to the Bengals pick? And if so, do they get a fourth tight end or do we get a tackle?
I just don't see them taking a fourth tight end.
I don't either.
They historically over the last. Now I could be wrong, but they're just not big on taking tight ends early.
No.
They took Eifert. That's almost 10 years ago at this point.
Yep.
In the first round, and whoa, was he a great pick that 1 year? And then he battled injuries, and they just don't. It just seems like they don't value the tight end position. But Brock Bowers, for all intents and purposes, if you watch his college year, I mean, he would be very dynamic.
He's a difference
for
maker.
Joe Burrow, which we've had Hayden Hurst and C.J. Uzama, the Hudson Hornet last year. We tried the Irv Smith. Just nothing super dynamic at the tight end position like a Gronk and a Kelsey, which we've seen seems to be like the tight end position when those great quarterbacks have that, takes offenses to the next level and usually can lead to a Super Bowl championship. So
now,
I just personally don't. I would love to see that pick, but that's not the Bengals' MO.
And I agree. I don't think that they're going to carry a fourth tight end on there. But I will tell you this: the tight end position, I think, is solidified. Drew Sample's a glorified blocker. We got the Hudson Hornet, and he flashed quite a bit last year, and I think Burrow likes him. Mm-hmm. But I'm excited about Gesicki because Gesicki is going to be a matchup nightmare. And I think the Bengals are going to use him what he should have been used for this whole time is just basically a passing receiver. I mean, and he's going to be a nightmare, and I think the Bengals will utilize him. It's going to be fun to see some of those packages they roll out this upcoming year with him.
I agree. I think in the biggest addition, bringing him in, will be the red zone. We've seen the Bengals, a lot of teams struggle down there when they get in the red zone.
It gets awfully tight down there.
It does. So I just think him being tall and athletic tight end, it'll bring a wrinkle that they haven't had. That's what we hope.
You see us taking a tackle. So when we look at that position,
I really at 18, I have no idea this is one of those years I have no idea what they're going to do.
But the good thing about picking at 18, and then we kind of talked about this a little bit off air, is a lot of great players are falling a little further because it's such a quarterback heavy class. So that's going to eat up 5-6 spots at the top. So a lot of those blue chippers at other positions are going to fall. And now let's just say the Bengals take a tackle. I think it's a pipe dream to think Joe Alt would ever make it to the Bengals. Although that would be beautiful. But who do we think Bengals are taking?
Well, it seems to be like you said, Alt and maybe the kid from Oregon State, Fuaga. Yeah. Those two will probably be off the board. Other than that, it wouldn't shock me if any of the other tackles, the guy from Penn State, Olu, I'll go with his first name, and then the guy from Washington, Fatanu,
and
then Latham. Will we go back to the Alabama tackle well. You know, we've seen the Jonah Williams, we've seen Andre Smith. Not that we should judge Latham based on that. No. But there's a lot of, Marius Mims, Tyler Guyton. Yep. There's a lot of tackles.
There's a lot of tackles.
So this is a tackle heavy draft. So do the Bengals, address that, get the best one in the first round? I think you and I are always on board with protecting the franchise.
Yep.
But it seems like the Bengals their draft picking with offensive linemen just hasn't been
great.
And they always say in business,
and I don't know who's pulling on whose ear for these linemen, but we need to get rid of that guy.
Yeah, I mean, you just, the last couple times they, Billy Price, Jackson Carman, Jake Fisher, Obuehi, it seems like what they've done is that seems to be their weakness. So they've outsourced it and attacked it in free agency. So they take other teams' wins and spend money on it. But, man, that's a dangerous game to play.
Well,
because you need some young beef on the offensive line.
Agreed. And I think the Bengals, if I was to guess, I think they're zeroing in on Latham. And here's my food for thought.
Okay.
Latham, he's a monster. Mm-hmm. And he actually, his freshman year, played guard. And I don't think that the Bengals are sold on Volson at all. Okay. So I think that they might bounce him. If Volson doesn't look like he's taking another step, they could put that monster in at guard for the first year because Trent Brown. Now they could always then put him out at tackle because Trent Brown has an injury history.
Yeah.
So you got some flexibility there, and as you said, I think we should just do whatever it takes to protect Joey B.
Yeah, and that's a good about playing guard because. Kappa is getting older too.
Yeah.
How much longer is he going to be on the team? Karras, I think he's in his 30s now. Yeah. So the line is getting old. That's why they need to probably hit on some of these younger guys so they have stuff in reserves. Now, offensive line, again, I'm totally on board. Whichever one they deem the best, but they need to look at something different because they're drafting with offensive line. I've seen a lot in these mock drafts that them taking this kid, and we haven't talked about it, the kid from Texas, Byron Murphy.
Yeah.
The defensive line. The interior. I saw that. I see him a lot. I see cornerback a lot. The Bengals historically have taken.
And what's the guy we took last year, first round? Murphy?
Yeah, Miles Murphy.
See, I have a Murphy complex, so I don't.
No more Murphys.
No more Murphys, man, because he better take another step forward. But that being said, I have seen some mocks taking that. I don't like it. I want an offensive lineman. I don't.
We're always beating the drum for offensive linemen, and it just seems like
you give Joey B time. I don't care who's out there he's thrown to. He makes them look good.
Yeah.
Just protect the franchise.
Now, we all have PTSD from what the defense got shredded last year.
They did.
They got shredded.
Yep.
From my understanding, Hubbard was hurt. They were trying to put a bunch of new guys in the defensive backfield.
This is his last year. If he doesn't show, then he's gone.
Hubbard.
Yeah. The Hubbard hustle.
The Hubbard hustle's gone, man.
He did not play.
But they said he was injured last year. But will they go back at the defensive line? Byron Murphy, I've seen
Sweat a lot, but he could go to. But he isn't he just. And hear me out on this. He is a huge man, and all his role would be is to keep these bodies off the linebackers. So. If it's truly the linebackers didn't play well because of everything else around them, maybe this opens up. Now, he would be more of a second round, third, because he isn't a game-changing guy, but he is a piece of the puzzle, just kind of like those Baltimore teams when they had Syracuse and what's the other big, Sam Adams. They just kept him off the linebackers. And this guy kind of reminds me of those types. So, and that very well may hit.
And in the AFC North, that's important.
Yeah.
You got to have those big boys. A lot of the teams in the AFC, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, all of them are running teams.
Yeah.
So, and then, you talked about second or third round. This draft, so the Bengals have 10 picks, 4 in the top 100. So they're going to get some guys that should be able to contribute within the next couple years. Hopefully, a couple of them this year. And we haven't talked about the wide receiver position.
You know who I want.
Yeah, talk about him.
Yeah,
get him out there.
The Western Kentucky guy. If the Bengals somehow could get him in the third, Mm-hmm. Do you think he would be there in the third? And we're talking about Malachi Corley. He is a Deebo Samuel type. And he could get on the field instantly, basically. And I think that the Bengals are missing that. If it runs some of this jet sweep motion like the Niners do, and give the idea that they could be handing off to a Corley type. I think that opens up everything, whether it be Gesicki on a matchup nightmare or our two stud receivers in Higgins and Chase. But I think Corley would be a slam dunk pick. Because I think he's a Deebo Samuel type.
And that would be great, because the last couple of years, Tyler Boyd has filled the slot position. Yep. And Tyler's been great for the Bengals. Yeah. I mean, he's a great Bengal.
My thoughts are.
Yeah. So, Tyler Boyd, it doesn't look like, he's still a free agent out there. It does not look like he's coming back.
And quite frankly, that says a lot.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then that too is they've tried. They've also had Trenton Irwin in that spot a couple times last year. And then they drafted Charlie Jones last year to try.
The other guy, the one from a Ivy school.
Yoshevich.
Yoshevich,
yeah. And he had 5 touchdowns. Yeah. He's very athletic. But are they going to depend on him?
That goes to the point. I think Joey B makes anybody look good if you just give him time.
Yeah.
I don't care who it is.
Yeah.
Protect the franchise.
But they need athleticism in that slot. And that's probably, I would say they're going to pick a wide receiver within one of those first 3 picks.
I'm telling you, if they get the Western Kentucky guy,
we're all in on Western
Kentucky.
Oh
my God! I know everybody all small school, blah blah blah, but Corley would be just an absolute perfect fit for the Bengals.
I'm on board. Let's go.
Thank you.
Could they take a wide receiver in the very first round?
Yeah.
Is that a possibility?
I heard some of the Brian Thomas talk.
Thomas, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the LSU connection.
He had 17 touchdowns last year.
I mean, yes, but how much was that because of Malik Neighbors
in the offense?
Yeah, I mean, you always have that question. But, I mean, the Bengals have hit how many times now with LSU guys? Maybe they go to the well. They're going to have to, obviously replace Higgins. Are they sold on Chuck Sizzle?
Not yet.
Not
yet.
I don't think so. But again, I just think, after this year, Higgins will walk. Mm-hmm. I'm in the camp of Joey B makes whoever look good. So I think we get the guy Corley from Western Kentucky and see where the chips fall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but I've also seen the potential cornerbacks. The Bengals have a history of taking corners in the first round. A couple of the guys I've seen, Wiggins from Clemson. Yeah. There's Arnold from Alabama and Mitchell from Toledo.
Now, personally, and this is a pipe dream because he's going to be picked way before Kool-Aid. I just like the name.
Kool-Aid. I think he'll be available.
Will he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Kool-Aid.
he's
okay.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is like Kool-Aid before the year last year, he was kind of the top dog for the cornerbacks. They were projecting him to be a high pick, and he's fallen off behind. Even his teammate Terry Arnold has leapfrogged him. And now they're saying Kool-Aid might be late first, second round pick.
Could be in the second. Yeah. Oh man, if we can
we'll take a little Kool-Aid.
I've got to think Kool-Aid has reached out to them to marketing.
Right. We'll take a little Kool-Aid.
Yeah. So, but to your point, we can never have too much secondary guys.
No, with the way the league passes a lot, I mean, cornerbacks are always going to be at a premium, guys that can cover. But like you and I were talking earlier, like the pass rush will always help that back end.
Yeah. Bottom line, if you have a pass rush, that hides a lot of deficiencies. Yeah. I mean, people don't have to cover as long. The linebackers, just everything else runs smoothly with a pass rush. Now, will our first round pick last year take another step? Let's hope, but we'll see.
Not only that, nobody wants to talk about this, but Trey Hendrickson is getting older by the year.
Big time.
so.
Yeah. I mean, and he gets
took Murphy last year.
He gets nicked
up. They could go, very early again, go back to the defensive end. Well, if there's a guy there that is athletic and they can get in the system early and groom him to replace those guys, it's just NFL is just constantly changing with injuries and players getting older, and but you keep hitting the nail on the head. The center of the universe is Joey B.
It is.
Put pieces. It's Joey B and Jamar.
Pieces around
them, and however you need to do it. But
Let's do it.
Now,
You brought up a good point about the having 2 third-round picks. I mean, the Bengals could just, if they knock it out of the park with the first and second and the 2/3. I mean, the team is ready. Let's just get it right there. I mean, let's hit on these draft picks because I mean, you could really cover up a lot of needs with those first 4 picks in 100.
That and I think next year is the first year. I don't think it's this year. I think it's the year after is when the Joe B extension kicks in.
Yeah.
It kicks up to 55.
It'll get real tough.
And then Jamar's, I mean, so you've got to have those young guys.
You got to be all in.
You do. Well, you got to have those young guys that can come up and play. I mean, a couple years ago they thought they were so deep and they took Dax Hill and sat him for a year.
Yep.
I don't know that they have that luxury this year. There's some
No,
holes
they need to be all in now because this is the time. As far as like free agents, do you see the Bengals kicking the tires on any free agent? I've been screaming from the rooftop. I was mad when they didn't trade for him a few years ago, Stephon Gilmore. Let's get him in here.
I think at this point, probably what free agents and teams are doing is seeing what they hit on in the draft, what they need afterwards.
Yeah.
So then those players get to pick to go to spots where they have a chance to play. So Gilmore showed last year in Dallas that he still has skills.
Still has it. I think he's chasing a ring, and what better place to chase a ring than Cincinnati? Now, talking about some other positions, do you think the Bengals are comfortable with Zach Moss and Chase Brown in the backfield, or do you think they, never pick a running back early, but you can hit on somebody in maybe the 5th or 6th?
So they have Moss, Chase Brown, and then who is it? Travion Williams. Do they have anybody else in that mix?
I don't know the Michigan guy.
Oh, Chris Evans.
Yeah, is he still around?
He's still hanging around.
Okay. All right.
I mean,
he flashed early, but then he just kind of went away.
Yeah, I mean, Zach Moss seems to be good. Chase Brown flashed last
Boy,
year.
did he.
My guess is unless somebody falls that they have really high on the board, they'll probably stay away from the running back position.
Okay. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, punting. We got to hit on a punter.
Is that the elephant in the room? I love it.
At this point, yeah. I mean, and it's a big elephant because
it really is.
I'm telling you, the field position that the Bengals continually give these people, it's unreal.
That caught me off guard.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was going to be the elephant, but I like it.
It just sits in my craw.
Yeah.
I mean, we have got to hit on a punter.
I mean, when you
why didn't they take the punt god that got exonerated? Right. From any wrongdoing, and he's sitting there, and then who got him?
Was it Kansas City? Yeah, because I think they cut Tommy Townsend, who was there and we didn't sign Here's the thing: when you draft a punter, you better be getting somebody that I guess I don't understand how you draft him, and he just. Is the ball different?
Yeah, it's all of a sudden he forgot.
I mean, because he kicked at Michigan, which is a bad
weather. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it.
I mean,
either our punt coach guy.
I feel like I could write a thesis on this. Yeah. Like I need to research how that happened.
I think we had to have been ranked last.
Yeah, who's the Lawrenceburg boy that Drew? Can we bring him back?
He's been practicing in Trojan land, so there's something to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should the R&R run these tryouts?
I don't know. What's going on? Maybe have you old Hans Rumsey building some punch.
I ran that route tree a couple years ago pretty good.
It was pretty good. Yeah. When you ran that route tree, we got,
I ran it in jeans.
You did. They started calling you Sticky Hands.
They did.
That would. But yeah, we got to get a new punter.
Yeah, I think that's It's sometimes it's the devil is in the details.
Let's have a tryout here.
Yeah.
Let's do something. Let's see what they, because obviously the pressure's getting to them or something. Because I don't think. I mean, or the punt coach sucks. I don't know. I have no idea.
Do we need a new punt coach and a new offensive line coach?
I'm thinking that's pretty much where we're headed. I remember, what was the old Bengals O-line coach back in the day?
Paul Alexander.
I was going to say James, but that didn't sound right. Paul Alexander.
Yeah,
but he was a guru. But we need somebody like that.
We need something.
I think the Bengals have all the pieces in place. I mean, obviously.
So you're going with Latham. That's who you think that they will pick.
I think they're zeroing in on him because I think that they're going to hedge their bets. Bottom line is, I don't think they're sold on Volson, and they got a big gigantic man that is used to playing guard, and why he learns the tackle position and still hedging their bets if Trent Brown gets hurt. Because the Bengals, the worst thing that they could do is right out the gate, Trent Brown gets hurt, then what do? Oh, they're sitting there panicking. So let's hedge our bets. Let's have a tackle that will back him up, learn, but then also if Volson doesn't, take another step up, you can slide him down very easily.
Yeah, I have a feeling they're going to go with the Byron Murphy from Texas. That's who there's too much smoke there. I know.
First round pick, Brian Murphy.
Yeah, Byron. Brian. It doesn't
The
matter.
Murphys,
He's a Murphy.
I'm done with the Murphys. I would be sick to my stomach if that happens.
Yeah.
But
so
I've been sick to my stomach a lot.
Yeah. So what? Every time we do this, what's your prediction for Joey B next year? Are we going 50 touchdowns?
50 touchdowns, 5,000 market. This is the year. Mark my words. Get in on any betting website. Put your money on Joey B winning the MVP. Put your money on the Bengals winning the Super Bowl.
His rehab seems to be going well. Now, are we worried about any type of nerve damage with the wrist?
Nothing.
We're full
neuropathy,
speed ahead.
Nothing.
Because it just seems like we're always in this position talking about off-season injuries.
He's going to have a full off-season. Everything's going to be, for the first time ever, full off-season.
I feel like I may need to go out and run a route tree to get a full feel for
we'll
can we make that happen?
We can see if we can make that happen.
You got a lot of connections. Can you make that happen?
We'll see what we can do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm telling you right now, all in, Bengals are winning it all. Over under on the.
We're just going to turn this into a prediction show.
I'm just telling you, Bengals are set up good. Chiefs, they've taken a big hit. I think the Ravens lost a lot. I think they might have lost the most over this past season.
Did we ever have a free agent show? We never.
I don't know. It's over. We are going full force. Bengals.
Have we talked about the Bengals free agent signings?
I don't know, but I like them.
Yeah. Who was your favorite, Rankins or Stone?
Both equally well. I mean, I think the Bengals are always frugal. They're not going to get this splashy name, but they get this good, solid players.
I don't know. I disagree. They went for Orlando Brown last year.
They did. That was out of their character.
That was.
I think we did an emergency R&R for that.
We did.
We were so shocked. I think we did the emergency.
We did an emergency R&R for that, not the O.J. Simpson.
Well, we have to pick our spots.
Do we want to talk about O.J. since we're here?
I don't know. Let's not bring this down.
Let's end on a good note.
We're headed, but the draft is right around the corner. When's that? Thursday? The what?
Yeah, about a week and a half away.
Yeah, a week and a half.
Not this Thursday, but the Thursday
following after.
Yeah, I was thinking about that today. They do the opening round on Thursday night, and then they do the Friday. I missed the. Now, granted, I was a kid, and Saturday I missed the just starting on Saturday morning.
I know, but I do like I'm not going to lie. I like it, and we might have to reach out to our special correspondent Keith Cheek, see if his uncle Lynn Rolfus is going to do anything for the draft.
Is he a special correspondent now?
I think he's been upgraded, but his uncle
he's filled a lot of roles: manager,
special
IT guy.
Well, the funny thing is I think his uncle got the biggest applause last year, if I remember correctly, on that stage.
That was awesome. And
it
was very, very cool.
And I think that
you're now poo-pooing the Murphy pick.
Well, but I think the NFL would be wise to go back to that again.
Agree.
Is what I'm saying.
I completely agree.
I mean, they can never use
to Lynn or back to another military guy.
Well, either or. But I liked Lynn. I thought Lynn did well.
Can we get Lynn on the show?
I think we can make that happen for sure. I think Lynn would be honored and privileged as much as we would be having him on.
Yeah, he was very well spoken.
Yeah,
it was a great moment.
Knocked it out of the park.
He did. He did.
So,
what do we think about one more thing? What do we think about the draft in Detroit this year?
It could get dicey. I mean, last time I was in Detroit, I went and watched
Dicey in Detroit. That sounds like a Netflix series.
It's not the greatest place. I'll just say that. But I last time I was in Detroit. Me and another special correspondent, Jason Sullivan.
Okay.
We went up and watched the Mike Tyson Andrew Galata fight at the Auburn Hills Palace.
That's cool. That's very cool.
It was
what happened?
Well,
what happened in the fight?
Well, Tyson cracked him, and then Galata quit. He broke his whole cheekbone, and Galata just quit. It was there was probably at least 100, 150 fights in the stands.
Really?
I mean, if anybody has ever been to a Tyson fight can probably concur. I mean, the energy in those buildings.
Did you and Sully crack anybody?
My lips are sealed. My lips are sealed. But all right, guys, enjoy the draft. I know William and I will be back to go over our draft picks because, quite frankly, it's one of our favorite times of the year.
It is. It really is.
So we'll see you next time. Thanks.
Who dat?